First time out in the Streakfly too, and I feel great, but there's a big but.
How do you do?
Which one? Good morning team, you join me today as we do a classic duathlon bike run repeat session, but we're aiming today to hit sweet spot intensity. Okay, let's put some context and meaning into this session today. Right, if you've seen my last video, I raced in the Leeds even splits 5k and hit a time of 18:12. My intent was to go closer to 18 minutes with a stretch target of actually dipping under 18 minutes, but it didn't happen. I've also carrying a bit of a niggle, a bit of an injury in my groin stroke hip flexor. Don't know what's going on, but it's been there for a few weeks now. And I've kind of been managing it and getting by, and it kind of disappears when I run hard in a race and sessions, and then comes back and I'm kind of hobbling a bit for the next couple of days. So it is impacting my training, and hence today I'm just going to do a sweet spot session rather than ramp up any real big intensity. And this is all balanced against I'm a bit of a tipping point in the season right now. I don't think I'm going to make the England Masters team, so I've kind of discounted that for the race on the 17th of May at Shrewsbury 5k. But I am entered in the Staffordshire track and field 5,000 metres on the 11th of May, and I really love to do that just for a bit of fun. So I'm kind of hanging on before I really tend to this niggle and try and get rid of it, to see if I can at least get a reasonable time on the track, which would just for a bit of fun and enjoyment and not waste whatever form I do actually have. And looking further ahead, I want to kind of reset. I've got an itch to reset my season, aiming for October, the national standard distance duathlon champs at Alton Park, which is kind of local. I've got enough time to get rid of this niggle and build back for a specific goal. And I've really got half an eye on that, but I just want to get rid of these last few races and 5k focus that I've had out of the way, so I can actually get onto that proper build process and give me some motivation. Adding to the mix, I've got to change a work role, and I'm likely to be busy, and I've got to have to put some focus on that, and that will impact training, I think. So I've just got to juggle all these things together, haven't I, and come out with the best plan. And I think I'm getting there. But today it's a sweet spot session. So what is it? Well, it's more of an endurance based sweet spot session rather than the high intensity longer recoveries that I have been doing to try and get in peak shape for these 5Ks. That hasn't quite come together and may actually have caused my niggle in my groin stroke hip flexor. So yeah, endurance based. So it's going to be the workout on Zwift, which is kind of sweet spotty, little pyramids up with a burst, and that's a 5-minute chunk of effort, but not too intense. And then I'll jump off the bike and do a circuit that I've done around here before, which is more or less 1500 meters, and I'll do those, I don't know how many times yet, maybe 6 times through I'm aiming for, and keep the intensity more like the run equivalent of sweet spot sort of tempo. What will that be off the bike? I don't know, maybe around 3:55 to 4 minutes per k pace. It's a bit twisty turning around the park, that'll take some time off, and no doubt it's a nice day. We'll have some dog walkers and people getting in the way, but that's just par for the course, isn't it? And also today I want to try out the Streakfly 2 on one of these 1500 meter reps, or maybe a couple. I've got these to try on the track predominantly, and I was going to really give them a good blast in the track session this Wednesday, but I'm going to be away with work, as I said, it's going to ramp up and get busy, so track session's out the window. I've been saving these. I might as well try them out on a pick up over 1500 meters and see what they feel like. They're a lot more minimal on the sole compared to the bouncy super shoes and training shoes that I normally wear, and that's why I wanted to save them for the track. They've got a bit of a spike vibe going on about them, but as long as you run on your forefoot, they are more cushion than spikes, and that's why I wanted them for the track, for the old man legs. We'll see what they're like going around the circuit in the park though. It'll be a bit of fun. They are so light, and no doubt they'll feel like I'm wearing slippers. But let's see what they're like. and hopefully the wear and tear that I've been a bit afraid of using on the concrete won't be a problem. We'll see how it goes and we'll feedback. Right, enough waffle, let's get this warm up done and start the session. Right, warm up done the first 1500 meter run. I did those in the Vaporfly 3s, which are great, very squishy, reasonably poppy, but more squishy for me. I don't know if that's a mistake, because when I try the next rep in Streakfly 2s, you can see the stack is significantly less, and I don't think you can describe those shoes as squishy by any means. Let's get this 5-minute kind of pyramid with bursts sweet spot done. See what the Streetflies are like out on the concrete. First proper set done on the bike. Yeah, it was reasonably tough. Definitely not got the best legs today. I did some strength and conditioning on Friday. Today is Sunday. Typical old man fashion. The legs still feeling it. There's just no quick recovery, and I've got to accept that. So that first run, although I enjoyed it in the sun, didn't feel particularly great in the Vaporfly 3s. So now we're putting on these little babies, are Streetfly 2s. This will be the first time I've worn them outside. I've worn them on the treadmill and they felt great, but the treadmill's a different beast to running outside. For one, the ground isn't moving beneath you, and there's a bit more give in the treadmill than there will be out in the park now on the concrete. So aim is to run another 1500 just on feel. I'm not really bothered about the pace. I'll try and maintain the same effort that I did on that first warm-up rep. Knowing me, I'll probably ease into the session. I'm generally better in later reps than the warm-up, so any increased speed in these little babies might not be down to the shoes, but let's see how they go. Right, so we're on the second run, first time out in the Streetfly 2. And I feel great, but there's a big but. They feel great as long as you're on your forefoot. And really, as other reviewers have said, you really need to focus on your foot plant. So it might take a bit getting used to. But I certainly wouldn't use them anything further than 5k. I'm jogging along here, averaging 358. Second run done. First run in the Streetflies, as I said. I really liked them. They didn't feel as minimal as I thought they would do. So timing wise, I did my 1500 meters. Tempo averaging about 358 per k, 5 minutes 56. And that's not pushing it. It just feels so light. And I said, yeah, you need to think about planting your foot on the forefoot, but the style of the shoe does encourage that. You kind of feel when you got more engagement on the rear foot, and I am a midfoot striker, definitely not forefoot, so I do feel like I really need to concentrate, and this will stress the calves a bit more, I think. So before that race in a couple of weeks on the track, I do intend to wear these. I think I'll get as many sessions as I can in these up until then, and concentrate on that style of running to make the best use of the pop and the forefoot strike in these shoes. Lots of strides I think would be good, and maybe some shorter reps rather than these 1500s, but it's good to get the longer 1500s in the bag. Right, let's get this next set of bike sweet spot with bursts done. Yeah, it's warming up now, getting a bit warm, and I think this kind of session is so good. It's good motivation as well. I love doing these bike run sessions. I think they're productive and motivational at the same time. I love running those Streakflies, but I don't know if already my calves are feeling a slight kind of different sensation of running. So next set I'll do the 1500 metres in the Vaporfly 3s, which are a lot more squishy, and try and replicate the same effort I just did that run in the Streakflies. Now I'm warmed up, and see how it compares. So I was under 4 minutes per K in the Streakflies. Let's try and replicate it in the Vaporfly 3s and see how they go. Right, 10 seconds to go. Let's get this session done. Right, that's that set done. Let's get the Vaporfly 3s on. See how they feel. Get my breath back. So I'm in the Vaporfly 3s now. Definitely more squishy, but I'm focusing on trying running the same way that I did in the Streetflies. So more on the forefoot, slightly shorter stride, relaxed. About 5 seconds per K, slower in these. Yeah, now my perception is the Streetflies were quite a bit faster and more poppy. I felt like I was sinking into the run more in these. I think these protect the legs a whole lot better and are a great shoe. But yeah, now whether or not that is just because my legs are getting a bit more fatigued, we'll see. So I'm going out in the Streetfly again on the next rep, but I think to equalise the accumulated fatigue, I'll reduce the intensity of this next bike 5-minute block and see if that'll help me get an even test for the next run in the Streetfly 2s. Right, I think I'll have to make this next run in the Streetfly the last one, because the old groin hip flexor thing is really starting to niggle a bit more than I'd like it to. Darn it! Right, let's reduce this intensity like I said, and then see how the Streetfly feel in comparison to those Vaporflies. Okay, 20 seconds and we're into the next rep. It's only 5 minutes of relative pain, not too much pain as in good pain, not groin pain. Right, let's get this done. Yeah, starting to bite a bit now, even though I am on reduced power. We'll get this done. Looking forward to running in the Streetfly again. Right, here we go. So this is a really good comparison for me, and what I'm going to focus on this run is actually trying to, as well as the forefoot technique that I mentioned, but try and ease back, if you get what I mean, and relax even more to see what work the shoe might be doing as opposed to me myself. I am more fatigued, so you'd argue if I'm going to focus on a shorter stride and letting shoe do the work, maybe 5% less effort than the last couple of run reps, you could argue then if the pace is equal in these shoes, then they do make a significant difference. But we'll just have to wait and see, won't we? It's not scientific, but hey, it's the best I can do. Coming to the end now of this run in the Streetfly 2, and yeah, 4 minutes and 1 second per K. I am just focusing on technique and easing back almost compared to the last rep. I think they are faster. Yeah, Streetfly 2, second run. I literally jogged in the last 100 metres and did it slightly faster than the last rep in the Vaporfly 3s. And that last rep I've done now probably felt the easiest in terms of effort I'm putting out. Again, with the concentration on foot placement, not massively, but I don't know. If I can do that for 1500 meters, can I maintain it for 5k? We'll see. Definitely more work to be done, but like I say, it's all positive and I like them. Great fun trying them out. So that's the session done, and really enjoyed it. I'm a bit concerned about this groin thing. You really start to increase in intensity, a bit painful. So I've had to cut it short. I normally would have done maybe another cycle or two of that bike run. That's why I'm thinking of resetting in a way, get rid of the niggle, build back to October for that national duathlon champs. Let's see if I can eke out this track race in a couple of weeks, make use of what form I've got, like I said, and then I may have to have a rest, build back with some strength and conditioning and base work, and then get in tip-top shape later on in the year. But all good. And the Streakfly 2, get the thumbs up from me. Really like them. They're for a specific purpose and they do it really well, the shorter distance fast racing. That last rep, I just found myself really holding back but still running as fast as I was with, I don't know, 5-10% more effort in the Vaporfly 3s that just are more squidgy. It's almost like the squidginess sucks a bit of your speed out, but that does help protect the legs. It's bizarre, isn't it? Because the Vaporfly 3 are seen as a racing shoe, but if you want to go fast over shorter distance, they might not be the best. Okay, enough of that. Let's get going, get recovered, get this niggle sorted with a bit of ice, and we'll see you in the next video. Appreciate you joining. See you next time.